Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to beautiful Tahiti County, Iowa. And today, it's the week before Christmas, like 10 days before Christmas. Anyways, I have some updates to show you, some things that I kind of left out of the auction episode that I should have, but the auction episode, after I got done editing it, was over an hour and 10 minutes, if I remember right. So I kind of started cutting a lot of things out, not just in editing, just in when I was talking about it because I was trying to get through it. Anyways, this is the normal end of year kind of update video. If you remember last year, the first part of this year, we built this shop and we built a bin and we moved these other bins over here. This is kind of the same idea. We had some construction things. As you guys kind of saw in the thumbnail, we took down these two old bins here, which in hindsight was I could have left one of these for nah, not really. But I moved these from the other farm, if you remember, or other acreage. I probably should have just left them now that I think about it, but I left them over there and then just waited and built this one. But this one should be able to hold all of our soybeans now, and then this one should hold most of our corn, and then we left this one to hold the rest of our corn in a really good year. But that probably won't hold all of our soybeans, it should hold all of our soybeans, but it won't be full. That's what I was trying to say. I've been hauling corn for the last couple of weeks to pay for that new bin. In the auction episode, if you remember right, I told you guys I was selling my sprayer. At the end of the episode, I forgot to mention that I just didn't buy any of the sprayers. I guess it's kind of obvious. If you looked at it, you'd know that I didn't buy any of the sprayers. I kind of decided that I was going to go try and find something new, either at Deere or at Case. Originally, I was looking at a Case because I really liked the one that my neighbor used to have. And they had See and Spray on those. But I also really love a front-mounted boom. So I kind of was up in the air, and after a little bit of negotiating with my John Deere rep, I got a new, not necessarily Deere sprayer, but it's a Hagie, which is owned by John Deere now, and it's got this amazing 120-foot front-mounted boom, which, like I said, I love front-mounted booms. It's a lot better to see, a lot easier to see than rear-mounted ones. And yeah. So, that's the sprayer. That was kind of the update that I kind of neglected to tell you guys at the end of that auction episode, and then subsequently in the tillage episode right after that. So, what else we got around here? I don't think I have much for updates around here. We have some dirt work stuff that we did this year, and I'll kind of I got to go over the road here, and I'll show you one of them. First part being, we now have a driveway straight out of our house, right up to, right into the other field. This is much needed, mainly because with the semi, when I'm pulling out here, and I kind of had to swing down to head that way. Some of the time I've had really bad luck either turning too short and I almost put it in the ditch, or turning too far out and then almost putting it in the ditch on this side. So I went ahead and put in a driveway over here, and had to wait for county approval. So we literally got this done last week, and then we got some fake grass put on, or not fake grass, but grass put on top of it. And yeah. So the end of the tillage episode, I mentioned that we were going to do a test, and the test being I'm going to do ripped versus mulch / vertical tilled soybeans versus no-till soybeans, or at least everything might just get a cultivator pass over it. I think I almost have to get the soybeans to work down here, especially with how many weeds are already coming up, which is ridiculous. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing next spring. You'll see that. I guess I forgot one thing. If you remember my deer ripper, just it's not liked by the GPS units we have because it's basically as narrow as the tractor that we're pulling it with, which is fine usually. I mean, when you're doing it yourself, it'd be fine. But when you're using the GPS, it doesn't like it, and it kept leaving bumps or not bumps, but like strips, and sometimes it take most of the field, and it's a noticeable strip. So we'll actually head back across the road now. I know I said I wasn't going to, but or I was done here, but I'm not now. So we'll go ahead and head over here now. And right behind our dually that I probably could have parked in the shed is our new ripper. It's a Sunflower ripper, 4630, as you can see there. Doesn't have any finishing or leveling things on the back, or does it? I can't quite remember for some reason. But yeah. Anyways, so yeah, we got that. It's wider, and our tractors can still pull it. Mainly the 8430 or the Challenger, which are the two that I wanted to be able to pull it. So next up, like I said, we got a bunch of dirt work stuff that I did, and would not recommend doing this unless the ground is frozen like it is. Mainly because you will get stuck and in the mud in the ripped ground. But come back here. I had an excavator over doing well, he helped me install this bridge here to get across the water a little bit easier. And then while he was here, I had him help me rip out some more trees, and that was a lot bigger bump than looked like it was. So, need to fix that. But yeah, he ripped out some of these trees, mainly kind of just squared up the area for me here, as you can see. And I might, if I'm crazy enough, I might rip up some of this grass and farm the top of the hill here. Probably won't, but we will use it for a good hay crop at least. Next up, we're going to head... Actually, can I make it down here? No, the railroad's right there. Oh, this is a lot steeper hill than I wanted it to be. But we can bounce right across the railroad here. Wouldn't suggest doing that unless you got a good suspension on it. Here is the other dirt work / trees that we ripped out. We'll be tilling over this spring when we do some of the other tillage stuff. But yeah, there used to be a little weird hill kind of right here. You can see the dirt outline. And so I had them kind of dig down a little ways and then put the topsoil back on top, or put a little bit of subsoil on underneath, and then put a little bit of topsoil back on top, and then got rid of a couple of trees. Mainly gave me about another half acre here, but it made it a lot easier to farm this back corner. So to me, that headache's worth it, and the dirt work and cost was well worth it to be able to farm this just straight, because with my new planter, the 16 row, it would barely fit back here, and then it's just a headache, and there's no reason for me to farm back there. This way, I basically gain a half acre then, because then you get this whole corner all the way over to that grass, and you kind of get a straight line along the railroad. So we'll go ahead and jump back in the truck here. You guys remember, I bought this grass right across the road, but I also bought, or not this grass, but the grass on the back side of the trees there, which kind of loops all the way around and back over to the other side of my cornfield here, or the other side of the road next to my cornfield. So here is my new fields. We're going to be combining these two. I don't know why they had them separate, but my landlord had been renting it out for the last couple of years. And yeah, so he sold it to me, and then I've already given you guys drone shots in a different video. If you wanted to go back and watch that, I think that was in the neighbor's retirement sale. I think I came down here, if I remember right, or within one of those videos, or one of the videos right after. Yeah, so waiting for the guy to get his corn off. He is until December or January 1, technically, to get the corn off, and then I take over the ground. But yeah, that's also some of the latest corn in the area to still be in. Yeah, so next up, I'm going to head over to the new acreage, but I'm going to stop in town and get coffee or something quick this morning because I'm driving right past town. As you can see, it's right there. So I will see you guys at the other acreage. Alrighty, guys, as you can see here, we're at the other acreage site now, and you guys remember, I have this grass field here, and it's got this what was soybeans this year ground right next to it. But they had this weird little tree outcrop that covered up kind of this little hilltop here, which I get why they kind of covered it up or didn't farm it. It's kind of a dumb little hilltop thing. Or not really a hilltop thing, but it's just a little hill that would kind of make it hard for equipment sometimes, I'm sure. Yeah, so we ripped all these trees out, and now we're going to farm across the, well, yeah, basically just kind of come with an angle over here to this field. And we're going to farm these two fields all together now. This is not going to be grass anymore. We're going to put it into, actually, we're going to put this field into wheat. There's kind of another big update now that I think about it. This field and the field right next to my house, we're going to put into wheat so we can get some more straw for the dairy, because the dairy is asking for it and they want some more other than just the soybean straw that we give them at the end of the year usually. They need a little bit more, and they pay really good on wheat straw, and normally they had to go several hours north to North Dakota, Minnesota, parts of South Dakota to still do wheat. Yeah, so we're going to do that for him and then for them, and also then we can sell the wheat or use the wheat for our own seed next year. But we're going to probably just sell it, and then they can or sell the wheat to there's a pasta plant, or well, I don't know if they just do pasta, but there's a pasta plant a couple hours away, and that's why we're only doing small fields here, just these fields right here, and then the one by the house. So if we get 2,000-3,000 bushels of wheat, then it'd be worth, or wouldn't be as much of a headache to get it down to the plant that processes it. So yeah, yeah, I don't think I have much for other updates. I'll kind of just go over here and yeah, better in there. Oh, the rake's over here. If you remember from the auction, I bought this rake. Actually, I don't even remember if I put it in the auction because I was pretty tired after we got done bringing all the equipment back and everything over the next 2 days. So I don't know if I even mentioned about this rake. The old landlord still has a canoe here. That's unless it's metal, which looks wood. Anyways, yeah, header in there with the wagon. I don't think there's much for other updates, honestly. Wander over here. think I have anything in here. Yeah. Gonna wander back in this shed. We'll look, but I don't think I have much else for you guys right now. Own wagons. There's a dump truck. Pretty sure I remember mentioning that I got the dump truck and the Kenzie 850 cart here. Just brought them straight over here after we got done with the auction stuff. So I guess I didn't really show it off, but yeah. Good, doors actually shut. Probably tell my brother to make sure he shuts doors. Anyways, yeah. So with that, I think we'll just end this episode here. I know it's probably a dumb, random episode, but it, like I always say, it helps build the story. But yeah, and you guys need these updates, and putting them in episodes where we do just a whole bunch of action stuff would probably get really old for you guys. So with that, if you guys could do me a huge, huge favor, if you enjoyed this episode, leave a like down below and subscribe if you're not. But yeah, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully you come back. Peace.